This is just a short introduction on the Mythic Tarot. Many books on tarot inform us that the origins of the tarot cards are a mystery. More recent books give us a more accurate account, as over the last 30 years there's been much study and research in the origins of tarot. You can see my reading list on my website. It's believed that in Milan and Ferrara around 1430 to 1440, the 22 major arcana, the trumps, were added to the 56 playing cards. The first major arcana cards were very elaborate works of art depicting the Greek gods of mythology. The Renaissance thinkers believed that the gods were great laws at work in life. After the birth of the tarot cards in Renaissance Italy, the cards went on to be heavily influenced by occultists of the late 18th, 19th century. This relegated the cards to the shadow world of the occultists. The cards were adopted and changed in accordance with a particular group or order that just happened to get hold of the cards. Thus the cards were overlaid with more and more obscure symbolism. These cards are referred to by Liz Green as creative hybrids. The Mythic Tarot, authored by Liz Green and Juliet Sharma-Burt, illustrated by Giovanni Caselli, have resurrected the Greek gods to their original position, where they were first seen on the tarot decks of the Italian Renaissance. And over the last 20 years, the traditional tarot has been more linked to transpersonal psychology, which has developed a unique theoretical base, which is in constant development. By using the archetypal stories of Greek mythology, Liz Green and Juliet Sharma-Burt have restored the cards to their original universality. By connecting the cards to the bigger psychological picture, the stories and interpretations inform us that we all share the same human characteristics. These characteristics are displayed and enacted in dramatic fashion by the gods and heroes of Greek mythology. The Greeks, they so love to portray and the heroes of Greek mythology. The collisions and the conflicts within the unconscious psyche, which the Greeks so love to represent as the quarrelling deities and the family curse. Liz and Juliet believe that depth psychology has had to return to the source, the Greek god, to understand our own ambivalence. Dr. Caroline Mathers describes tarot as a symbol system, analogous to the analytical journey of self-discovery. We move through the tarot on our own developmental path. Archetype is a term used to describe essential human experiences and patterns of behaviour and development. Jung describes the archetypes as the building blocks of the psyche. He believed the mythic stories could be a good guide for modern psychological healing. The essential building blocks of the journey are going to be the same for everyone. The major arcana of the Mythic Tarot, in essence, describe those building blocks. Liz Green writes, the Greek gods are the most precise images to describe the multifaceted workings of the psyche. The 22 major arcana has been assigned to one of the Greek gods. The court cards depict the demigods and the heroes. The minor arcana illustrate a myth that best describes an experience in the four elements: earth, air, fire, water. For example, the water element, cups, is portrayed through the love story of Eros and Psyche. The Mythic Tarot can be said to expand the traditional tarot. The mythic stories add a transpersonal dimension to the card's interpretation. This shows how we are connected on a collective level with the rest of humanity, i.e., we can all connect and identify on varying levels with the symbolic stories. The psychological interpretations of the myth allow us to get inside the meaning of the card. The gods contain both a dark and a light side. Everything they do in myth is something we do. Therefore, the answers to our conflicts can be contained in the myth. Juliet Sharma-Burt says that myths act as a springboard for the therapeutic uses of tarot. We know the key components of the therapeutic process are taking back our projections. However, rather than being scared of them, these projections are useful tools in gaining self-knowledge. By viewing the images we cast on outer reality as a mirror reflections of our inner reality, we come to know ourselves. The cards act as a mirror that shows both our inner and outer life. The Mythic Tarot is therefore a good tool for helping to examine and take back our projections. Many tarot decks are looking towards outer events, what is happening now in your life, what is going to happen in the future. The Mythic Tarot looks at the inner states that are causing the outer events to happen and how to make inner changes that will influence future events. So, we are associating the cards primarily with internal states. Put it out there in the cards and then introject it. It's about confirming and reaffirming something you already know. Tarot is about processing. So the story, the mythic story, helps you to tap into the meaning of the card. For counselling and healing, the Mythic Tarot symbols can be related to the archetypal psychology of Jung. The major arcana contain the main archetypal themes encountered in the Jungian analytical journey of self-discovery. Greek myths are psychological profiles of human characteristics. So we can say depth psychology has found new ways to define ancient truths. The Mythic Tarot has broadened the appeal of tarot. Many students of tarot are successful professionals. They may have particular areas of their life they want to explore. The study of tarot is no longer just the domain of fringe groups. The psychological approach to tarot has so much more to offer than just the quick hit prediction, which I do not discount, and I have written about predictions elsewhere on my blog pages. However, the main theme of this introduction to the Mythic Tarot is to highlight its uses for self-exploration and counselling, coaching, because of its inclusion of a broader archetypal perspective. It's a very useful tool for anyone who would like to work privately on their own development at their own pace. Myths were the first self-help psychology, and depth psychology has found new ways to define ancient truths. The Mythic Tarot embraces the ancient and modern as a self-help tool for developing self-awareness.